Welcome back to Cannon Fodder. Yeah, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Now we were waiting again for the Don, and I was thinking this would be the perfect time to talk about a movie called, was it The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? I'm thinking, I might be the ugly one now. I'm the ugly one. Anyway, and we've got two familiar faces. It's been a long time waiting to get, Ralph, Paraguay, Ralph AFC, and the chairman of the board. But we're going to get into this one. I'll pick this one on the other side of this slight strange music intro. All right, so yeah, we're back. We are live. The following Friday, the second installment of the User Talk, and we've got two familiar faces. Yes, on this particular installment of the User Talk. Somehow, I don't think it's going to be an easy talk. It's going to be a difficult talk. But anyway, let's get in the intro. First up, Ralph, where have you been, man?
Yeah, I know. We were just saying it's been a long time. I'm happy to be back. Happy to get to air some of my opinions on here, because I know we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm here in Miami, but I've been in Paraguay for a bit, so it was good to go back there. Let me show what the guys from the Paraguay Arsenal Supporters Association, they gave me this with the Paraguay Gooners logo.
Nice.
Now I've got that to keep cool here in Miami, because it's full of ice cold water for our tereré, which we drink there. So yeah, I'm doing good. Happy to see you guys again as well. Always been following the show and keeping up with what's going on.
Cool. And as well, for a lot of the viewers, they probably don't know this, but Ralph is originally from the UK, aren't you, Ralph?
Yeah, from London. Used to go even to Highbury back in the day when I was younger, and then I moved to Paraguay when I was in my 20s. But yeah, I did a lot of Highbury Emirates in my day, and now I'm kind of spreading the word, spreading the gospel out there, because in Paraguay I'm part of the official supporters club. So we've done a lot of things recently to try and help the club. We were in the recent video of one of the launches of the kits, of the Adidas kit. We were in there, so we've been working hard there to make sure Paraguay gets known on the map.
Brilliant, fantastic. Chairman of the board.
We're here, man. We're here. Been a while. People, Alex don't bring me on, because you know what time it is when I come on the show. You know?
It ain't that. Mube running away from me, man.
Yeah, man, but it's been a while, but you guys know, whatever it is, I'm always here, man, ready to go. So let's get the bottles out, let's get the Eddie drinking, and let's get it.
How's the baby?
He's good. He's good. It's been a while. He's walking now. So
no way. No,
yeah,
man.
Walking now, big boy. So he ready to go. Can't keep him. That's why I'm in a secluded room where you probably can hear a little bit of the echo, because I have to lock them out on the other side. So we're here though. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. But you say he's walking. Can he kick? Can he kick a ball now? That's what I want to know.
Nah, I got to get him into that. He like to put the ball in his hand. I think he's getting into too much of that NFL stuff. We got to get rid of that.
Hey, listen, Chairman, good to see you back anyway. It's been too long.
Yes, sir.
Don. Yeah, talk to me.
Wow, isn't it long?
It's been too long. I
miss you, man.
Do you hear that movie? He says he miss you, man.
This guy, this one, but then I'm back and fully. You know, to meet my intention, but I don't bring the energy.
Right. Your order's cutting up a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't really hear what he was saying. But
Yeah.
yeah, you might cutting up a little bit. Like I couldn't hear you.
Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
It's cutting up a little bit. But Mube, I think he said that he misses you, man. So that's what I understood anyway.
Oh, for sure. Larry already know. That's my bro. That's my brother. You know what I mean? Big dog Larry.
All right. Do you know what? Let's get into this one. Ralph, why did we buy Nuno Tavares? I thought he was supposed to be back up for Kieran Tierney, and we've loaned him out to Marseille, and he scored a goal. Why did we loan him out, man?
It's a good question, right? I was thinking about him. I mean, last year what we saw from him was you got like two sides, like Jekyll and Hyde, right? Going forward, he always seemed to be quite an interesting prospect, and you could see the potential there. But defensively was when he was getting found out, and he'd like make unforced errors, or he'd be almost like out of position in terms of where he wanted to play. And then I guess with Zinchenko coming in, you can see Arteta's got almost a different idea of what he wants to do with the fullbacks. He's going to try and play with the more narrow fullbacks that are more technical, and maybe for Tavares, he's seeing him as a player that's more like up and down the pitch, more than having that technical ability to be inside. So off he goes. But I don't think he's a bad player, right? I mean, I think he's also a player that hasn't played a lot of first-team football. Even when we bought him from Benfica, I was checking the stats before we came on. He didn't even do like 20 games in a season for Benfica. So last season was really his biggest challenge at senior football. So I'm hoping that Marseille loan goes well and then he comes back, like we've done with William Saliba, for example. Send him out and then bring him back, and he's an even better player. So fingers crossed.
So can I ask you to push you a little bit more, Ralph? Would you have loaned him out, or would you have kept him in the squad, knowing fully well we're back in Europa League? Would you?
I think I would have kept him, because another thing is left backs are hard to come by in general, right? So if, let's say, we have any kind of injury or suspension, then we don't really have anybody in backup for Zinchenko and Tierney. I mean, what are we going to? Are we going to go back to maybe the kind of Kolasinac experience, or because in terms of players Arsenal have promoted, they don't promote really left backs or full backs. They're promoting kids higher up the pitch. So there is a bit of a risk, I think, in loaning him out. Personally, I would have kept him. But I can see also from the other side, from Arteta's side, I can kind of see the idea of maybe if he plays more football, he can hopefully iron out some of those defensive errors we saw last season, because those ones cost us. They were the errors he made. I remember, I think, is Liverpool one of the games I'm remembering, but those were actual goal. What's the word? Like it cost us a goal from that kind of error. So I think he definitely needs more experience to be able to iron out some of those issues.
Chairman of the board, why did we not buy Tavares to be back up to Kieran Tierney, knowing season before last Tierney got injured, and I thought they learned a lesson by getting a backup to Tierney, and we loaned him out. What's going on, man?
Yeah, you got to remember we did get him in, and we paid $7 million for him. It clearly came in as an understudy to Kieran Tierney. If you remember, I know it's been a while since I've been on the show. Remember the last time I came on here and I told you, I said, I need a backup to replace Tierney. I don't need somebody to come and back up Tierney. Remember I told you that?
Yeah.
I told you I want somebody good enough to replace Tierney in the team. I don't think Nuno Tavares is there yet. I don't think he's better than Tierney by any means. He came in when Tierney got injured, start of the season. He came in for a few games. He played like Newcastle at home. I remember he played that game. He was wonderful in that game. And fans were raving about him, Some fans will even say start him over Tierney. He's just a better, attacking fullback than Tierney. But you can see defensively he has a little bit of problem with it. I don't have a problem with loaning him out because he needs, like Ralph just said, he hasn't played a lot of games back to back. Even before we bought him, he was a backup to Gomares, Bruno, or wherever the left back name is at Benfica. He was a backup to another player that was there. So he haven't really got a stretch a run. You can see what he's at Marseille now, a big club. I'm glad he went to Marseille and not, the championship or anywhere else, because he's at a club now where the pressure is still on like it is at Arsenal. They're expected to win. Marseille fans go to game expected to win, bar when they play probably PSG. They expect to be better than everybody else in that league. And he's starting for them. We see what they did for Saliba. People always say, why did we loan out Saliba? Well, now you see the benefits of why we loan out Saliba. He's here now, and he looked great. Would he look like this if we had throw him in the Premier League 3 years ago when he was 18 years old? I don't think, I personally don't think we would know, but I really don't think you can say that he would just come in and be what he is now, because even his first loan, when he went back on loan to his other side, he wasn't the same player that he is now. He just got better and better playing game week in, week out. And I think that benefited him. So hopefully Nuno can go there, play some games. His competition is Kolasinac. I don't have a problem. I don't think we have a problem there. He's gonna play. I don't think we have a problem. so let's hope he can go there and at least get 30, 35 games under his belt, man. It should be a good season. I'm glad we loaned him out because I think he needed to play more.
But Muba, what about the fact that Premier League, Cup games, and now on top of that, Europa League? We need the numbers, don't we? Surely. We need numbers.
You need numbers, but if you look on the fullback position, I would say we probably need to get a right back before we get another left back. If you look at it, because we're playing Ben White out of position at right back to back up Cedric, to back up Tomiyasu. But you have to remember Cedric played left back a lot for us last season too. It's not that he can't do it. As a third option at left back, you have Cedric. It's not like we don't have an option. Cedric is not the worst player. He's not our first choice. He's not our second choice. But as a third choice center back, left back position, I think he's pretty decent. I think we can get away with that. You have Tomiyasu on the right. I would say if we need to buy a defender, I would say we need to buy probably a right back before. I wouldn't buy one regardless. I wouldn't bring in a defender. I think we have enough bodies there in defense to cope with what we need done. But I really don't think we need to get another left back, because you're just not going to play. Even in the Europa League, if we play the Premier League with, say, Tierney play the Premier League, and then we have the Europa League, you have another left back playing it. Where's the game going to come for the third one unless someone get injured? That's why you need somebody. That's why you have utility players that can fill in if needed. Why I think Cedric is going to stay for a while, because he can fill in at right and at left back.
Yeah. Would you put money on Tierney not getting injured again this season?
No. But that's the thing. We're not requiring him to play as much game as he did either. He's just come back from injury. Last year when he came back, we threw him right back in the fire because we don't have no better option than him. This year we don't have to do that. I don't think he's going to start tomorrow. I don't expect Tierney to start for a while, to be honest. I really don't, because he's going to get back to fitness. He can come in for a few games. You can see when he got injured the last time, he played like 3 games for us in a week and then went away with Scotland, played 2 games for them in a week, and then came back and got injured at Crystal Palace. That's what happened. He cannot play those back-to-back games. His body just won't keep. The same thing with Thomas Partey. Both of them, they're just not built for that. It's not that, I don't think it's not every player that can play back-to-back game like, say, a Granit Xhaka. As much as we don't like him, the guy just don't get injured. He plays every 3 days.
I love Granit Xhaka.
Granit Xhaka will play every 3 days, every 2 days, and he will play 90 minutes, and he will not get injured. I don't think there's a lot of players that can do that. So now that we have someone that's good enough to fill in or take Tierney's spot, I think we can manage to give him games in 3 days or 2 games in 4 days, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Don Larry, your thoughts on Nuno Tavares? We bought him last season, and we've loaned him out to Marseille, and he scored a goal on his debut.
Yeah, we want him actually to be fulfilled for to be back to the never got injured. But what happened to him that was that he was not dead for the end of the game. He was now faced at that point. Yeah,
Larry, your audio is still cut. It's still cutting up. Yeah, just
okay. What I'm saying is that Ireland was not to be back then. That was what he was prepared for. That was what he was prepared for. That was what he was told that he was coming to back up.
Larry, it's even worse, Larry. It's even worse. No. I think if you try switching off your mobile device and putting it back on again, it might strengthen the signal. But the audio is cutting up. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take him out. Sorry about that. What I'm going to say actually, with Muba, you mentioned two players who also get injured quite frequently. Ralph, Thomas Partey, if he's not built for the Premier League, if Kieran Tierney is not built for the Premier League, then they're no use to us, are they really?
Oh, it's hard. You've been harsh, Alex. I don't know. No, I get your point. There's
Alex,
most
just
physical...
like you don't like Shaka, he's not a part of that. Let's just say that.
I love Shaka, man.
Is the most physical league anyway. And then what we're seeing, especially from watching the documentary now, is the way Arteta trains is so intense as well, right? So apart from being such a physical league, then all the training sessions are so intense. And clearly, yeah, some players they're not able to handle it. Whether though that's a big issue or not is, I don't know, because the idea is you're meant to have a big squad, right? You're meant to be able to rotate players. And Arsenal are going to have 4 competitions this year, and then at least for the cup competitions, these players like Tierney, Partey, they're high quality, right, for those kind of competitions. So it's not like a be all or end all. But I get your point. It's not just that it's the physical league; it's that Arteta wants them to play very intense as well. I mean, if he wants them to be intense with high press, look how we're starting games, right? We're starting games like so quickly out the blocks and having to be, there's no like warm up, right? It's first minute kickoff. They have to be on top of the game. So yeah, there could be players that you think they might be up to that level, but once you bring them into the environment, you find they can't handle that kind of physicality. I don't know what the way around that is, right? Because until you really test them, put them to the fire, how do you know if they're going to be able to hold up? I guess there's so many kind of stats and the medicals you can do, but it must be hard. Until you drop them in there, you won't be able to see if they can handle it or not.
So I know we're going to be talking about Youri Tielemans. As we've got, I think, maybe 3 more weeks before the transfer window closes, surely the position that Arsenal should be looking at is, like we said, I wouldn't be looking to buy a defender. It's a central defensive midfielder, Ralph.
That's exactly where I would be. I think, didn't I see like Arsenal were linked with Moussa Diaby, for example? And I was thinking, I don't know how much we need a player out there who's playing out on the wing. What we need is someone like Tielemans is in the middle. And even better, they were just talking about the Premier League's demands, like even better, a player with experience in the Premier League. And that's what the recruitment's been really good so far with Zinchenko and Jesus, is that they got players that they know can do it at this level already. And then you don't have the doubts, like we're just talking about Tavares, right? Then you have the doubt, can they make the step up? Well, with this, we can buy almost like a ready-made replacement. So that's definitely the area I would look to strengthen, because you have Partey that's going to get injured, Xhaka that's going to get suspended. So you know that you're going to have to use and rotate more in that area than anywhere else on the pitch.
Yeah. All right. So Larry's back. Larry, can you hear us? Let's have a look.
Yeah, I'm just.
All right. It's still a little bit choppy, but go for it. Now we can't hear him. Oh dear. It's not... Yeah, go for it. It's still choppy, Larry. The audio's still very, very choppy. Anyway, whilst Larry's trying to sort out his audio, again, same question to Mube. The players are not used to us. You know, as much as they say, no, Thomas Partey is good at beating the lines and the press, and he's not used to us if he's going to be injured. And I'll put money on it, literally, that he won't play more than 20 games in the season. Tierney's not used to us. They're not used to us, Mube. Not used to us.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but you say Tierney's not you. I mean, you wanted Tierney to be your captain a year ago. I mean, it's just it is what it is. Injuries are a part of the game. I mean, you can't really just give. I'm not giving up on them yet. I understand what you're saying because when a player is injured, you're not helping us at all. But I think like I said, with a better squad, with 5 substitutions in the league this year, I think we can rotate better than we have. And you have to remember, Alex, you know, I know we need I think we need a midfielder. I always taught that. I know you see me on Twitter all the time, and I said, give me Yuri Tielemans. I don't care about anything else. Everybody want a winger and want this and want that. We need a midfielder first. So I think that's where we need the help. On the wing, I think we have players that can do something over there. And the defense, I'm not really worried about it. We have players that are versatile that can play in different positions. But in midfield, like you said, we lose Granit Xhaka, we lose Thomas Partey. We are down to bare bones. We're down to El Nene and Sambi Lokonga. We see how that went before when we depend on them. Not that I don't like El Nene. A couple of years ago, I wanted El Nene gone. Like he wasn't. He's a different player now, and I don't know if it's just me, but I think that run of game that he got last season did so much good for him. Arteta has made El Nene a different player. I have to give him credit for that because this El Nene that's playing now and making forward passes,
different.
You know, picking players out. And you have to remember the kind of energy that Arteta needs in this team. El Nene brings that. You know, we don't have that kind of. It's hard to go find somebody that's gonna come in and it's okay to be a backup, but when he is called on, one thing we know he's gonna give his effort, and he's actually mixing that with a little bit of quality now. So when you look at the situation, it's kind of tough. I think it's tough for Sambi because I do think we need another midfielder, but I do think we need somebody that can come in, like you said, with Premier League experience, not just anyone. And I think that's why I want Tielemans because he's already used to the Premier League. We can buy him today and play him tomorrow if need be. You know, it's not someone that's gonna look how to play that he come in the league and need time to bulk up. Something that we're gonna probably see with Vieira that we signed from Portugal. He's not the biggest of a player. He's gonna take a little bit of time to warm up to everything. But I think midfield, I think we do need to get one in there. But I still have faith in El Nene, and I know it's bad. It's kind of hard for me to say that because I wanted to go, but he's growing on me a little bit, and I like to give play a chance. And the same thing I'm going to do for Partey. The same thing I'm going to do for Tierney. I think we just have to use them a little bit better than we did the last couple of seasons.
But this might sound like a simplistic question, right? But who are the players who got injured towards the last third of the season? Tierney, Thomas Partey. Key players. Players.
Yeah.
And I can't say if they played, we would have probably won the full spot there. Won the full spot. But in key moments, the key players who are supposed to be first teamers getting injured at the wrong time of the season. And again, it might sound harsh, but players are no use to us if they're always going to be injured. I'd far rather, sorry, Mube, I would sell Partey. I would sell him. No use to us.
The difference this year, for Tierney, we have a competent backup that will come in, or a competent player. I think if we had Zinchenko last year, we wouldn't have missed Tierney. The problem is it went from Tierney to Nuno, and Nuno was not ready for that challenge. That's the thing. You have to build a squad. You have to have a squad of players. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, we can't go handpick a starting player from another team. If we sell Tierney and keep Nuno and Zinchenko, we're still in the same position. If Zinchenko get injured, he missed a lot of times at City too. He was injured. So if we get kept Nuno and sell Tierney, you know, we would have been in the same position if Zinchenko get injured. That's what I don't want. I don't want to drop off in quality when a player get injured. I want somebody to be able to come in and push Thomas Partey for that defensive midfield spot, that six-man play. I need El Nene to step his game up. That's why I said I need somebody to replace Tierney. I don't need a backup. I need somebody good enough to come in. Because if we had somebody good enough, as good as Partey was last year, as good as Tierney was last year, when they got injured, we wouldn't have missed them like we did. That's what we have to build, a better squad. I don't think we should get rid of our better players and replace them with similar quality just because they can stay fit. Because if that player gets injured too, we're back in square one with the same backups that we had from the year before. And that's what I don't want. I'm glad we're actually building a squad. The defense look great. If you look at it, the two center back with Saliba coming in, we have Saliba, we have Gabriel, we have Ben White. Remember, a lot of people were saying, why did we buy Ben White $50 million when we had Saliba? This is why we bought him. We need quality, more than one or two players. It's not just about 11 players on the field. If you have 11 players, no matter how good they are, Liverpool had 11 players, but if Van Dijk get injured or Salah get injured, it's a different team. You see what I'm saying? We can't just depend on 11 players. We need a squad, and I think that's what we're building right now.
Before I go to the next segment, just one more question to Ralph. Tavares is not a left back; he's a wing back, surely. Is he not?
Yeah, that's a fair point, right? He's much more comfortable further forward up the pitch, right? Than more defensively. And so that's maybe even something more surprising about why he was brought in, because we're assuming that Arteta is not going to use that kind of system with three at the back and then playing wing backs, because he's really moving towards this like almost inverted fullbacks we're starting to see, where he's going to play much more narrow. So Tavares is almost like the opposite. But I think also you can tell Arteta's of the opinion that he can coach players into new positions. So like El Nene we were talking about, who's become much more forward thinking than he ever used to be. I think maybe that's part of the reasoning is, well, if there's like the raw material there, then I can try and sculpt this person and form them into what I want. So that might have been the reason, because you're right.
Because he has everything else. Speed, size, attacking. Yeah. If you can get him to defend, he'd be one great player, So I think that's the reason. And for $7 million, I mean, we could sell him for double the time that. Especially if you have a good season in Marseille, I think we can get $15 million for him easy.
Yeah. But you're right. It's just the defensive nous he lacks. But I'm thinking he's a wing back, but you're trying to play him as a left back. Surely play him as a wing back, not as a left back, Ralph. No, play him as a wing back. Don't play him as a left back.
Yeah, but then I guess he's not going to build the team around the Tavares, right? He's just in the end, if I have to fit like a square peg into a round hole, then it's going to have to be in my fullbacks. That's what a lot of managers do as well, right? They see often the fullbacks as the easiest positions to kind of experiment with, because they feel it's maybe the safest place. So I guess that's why, right? He's thinking, I'll try and fit him into my system. It's not that we're going to build our system around him.
Yeah. Let's go into the live chat for the first one. I know we've got two more topics we want to talk about. It appears that Don Larry has given up with his audio, and I don't think he'll be coming back anytime soon, which is a real shame. We've got the moderator for the evening show, Ashley D says, hey, viewers. Welcome to Friday Night's Easy Talk on Channel 4 TV with Alex and the Crazy Gang. Yeah, not so much the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm the ugly one. Thank you, Ruben. Watching under 23s play West Ham right now. Marquinhos is looking another player. Marquinhos is looking a man among children. Oh my goodness. He currently has 2 goals to start of the second half. Moving very quickly about Marquinhos. I think you put out a tweet about Marquinhos. Better than Pepe?
I'm not saying it's better than Pepe.
All right.
I'm saying he's the reason why you're not hearing me talking about I need a winger. Just that I'm not saying he's better than Pepe. I think Pepe's problem was he wasn't playing enough last year. I don't think Pepe is a bad player. I just think it's hard to he wasn't playing at all. And then when you bring him on for 15 minutes and expect him to be, Lionel Messi, I just think it's not going to work. I think this season he's going to be better because he will play more minutes in the Europa League. Now that we have those Thursday games, he will, a lot of players will be a lot better because they be game ready. But Marquinhos, I really do like Marquinhos, man. I'm invested in my Marquinhos stock as we speak because I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be. I know he come from Brazil and it's easy to say, but he's going to give us what Martinelli gave us, and he's already got the physicality, man. He doesn't need to bulk up at all. This guy is. I saw this guy when he came to the U.S. and watched him play. He's a big dude. He's not little, So I don't think the physicality, his speed, I don't think none of that is going to be an issue to him. We'll see how much cup competition. I'll see what they look like in January. I will keep him until at least January. Let's play some of these Carbon Era Cup games. Let's play some Europa League games. Give him some of those game time, and then in January, depends on where we're at in the cup. We can always let him go out on loan and finish up the rest of the season somewhere else.
Ralph, quickly, Nico Pepe, where do you stand with him?
He's just such a enigma, right? How do you explain him? Like he pops up with some important goals. Like when we think about when we did need a goal, he was there a couple of times off the bench, but when he starts, he never seems to set the games alight. And then you're just looking at our forward line, and you think of the players that we brought through in terms of Smith Rowe and Saka, and they just took us to another level. It wasn't Pepe that was originally brought in for that purpose, right? To try and take us to another level. It's really the kids that ended up doing it. But I think it'll be good to see him get some game time. See how if that boosts some confidence, and also it means you have like a ready replacement for some kind of injuries or rest if needed. So it'll be good for him, I think, to get that time. But he's a hard person frustrating player, right? To try and what's the word? Put your finger on what you hope from him or what you expect from him.
If we had a competent backup for that position there, Ralph, would you sell Pepe, or are you still hoping that he can do the business for Arsenal?
It's a good question. I mean, the difficult thing about selling him is you probably won't recoup what you paid, so there's always going to be that difficulty of not making money on him. But then, if we had a good replacement, I think it would be worth letting him go, not to a rival, not to another club. That would hurt if he comes to Emirates and starts scoring on us. But I think it could be, because you're going to save in the wage bill as well. And it's obvious, like, he's not going to be, like we were saying, the player that takes us to another level. He's now become a replacement, which is just difficult because of the price tag. But if we get a better backup in there, then it could be a good one to get that wage bill down.
Yeah, okay. Cheeky Chappy Alfie's in the live chat says, hello to my fellow Gooners. Good to see our chairman back.
Come on, Alfie know what time it is. Alfie know what time it is. What's up, bro? My guy.
John McGee says, evening Gooners, it's all or nothing. We're going to be talking about it just in a little while. The Enforcer says, evening Alex and the panel. Thank you for that, Des. Let's have a look. Colin, the second moderator for the evening show, says, you better violate that like button. The Enforcer is here. And Prosper, good evening, brother, says, hi, Canon for TV. Tavares needs to develop some soccer discipline. A club where fans won't be on him as much as Arsenal fans would be at home. What do you think about that, Mube? I think I spoke about that on the morning show, that we are a tough bunch. We're a tough bunch, especially the Emirates. Yeah. We don't do no prisoners, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say I want him to go on alone, get that confidence up. There's nothing wrong with him going on. I just think this Arsenal fan base is so toxic when stuff ain't going right. When it's going good, it's great. But when it's going bad, we can see the worst of us as fans, and not just on Twitter or anywhere, but everywhere. You can see it. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want Saliba to be at this club when he was 18 years old, trying to carry this team on his back. I just don't think it would have. I just know this fan base. Soon as something goes wrong, and you see it with players all the time. Look at Hetty. Look at Nketiah. Fans wanted him out. Everybody was so upset that he got a new deal and stuff like that. People wanted him out, but we have to just give these young players time, man. This fan base we don't do that. But listen, it's not just the fact of the fans were on him. He just wasn't performing when he was on the field. Remember that FA Cup game? He got subbed off in 30 minutes. He literally looked like he was a high school player playing against a League Two team. Like, he was that bad. He got subbed off 30 minutes, and rightfully so. So you can't really just blame the fans for it. But I don't blame him. Like I say, you can't just expect a player to come in every 3 weeks and show up and be the best he can be. So let him go on loan. And let's not get it twisted. Like I said before, Marseille is a team in France. It's going to be just like at Arsenal. Those fans expect to win. It's not going over there. It's not going to a championship club or a club in a relegation fight. They expect to be in the Champions League places. That's where they was at. They're going to be playing Champions League football. You know, it's not just so, you know, they go into another club. It's just as big as he's going to be perform like he has to at Arsenal. So let's see and hope he can come through like Saliba did.
You know, Mube just reminded me of something, Ralph, about the Eddie Nketiah situation. What do you think about him being given a number 14 shirt? I mean, for me, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less what number he was given. He could have been given 007 for I care. But what are your thoughts about him giving the number 14 shirt, Ralph?
It speaks a lot to him about his own confidence, right? Because I'm sure he's chosen it. I don't think like he's been forced to have it, or he's been asked to have it and he's accepted, but it's definitely not forced. And so that's a big show of confidence, right? Because you know whose number you're taking with the number 14 at Arsenal. And that could be a good thing. Why not, right? Strikers need confidence. And so if he has that on him already, then let's go and do it. But like, I'm more in your camp, Alex. I don't mind which kind of number they're wearing, because the important thing is the number of goals they score at the end of the season, right? Not what's on their back.
Absolutely. For you, Mube, were you upset?
Yeah. No, I wasn't upset at all. No, I wasn't upset at all. You know, I like Eddie. I don't have a problem with Eddie. I didn't want Eddie to go from the get-go. I wanted to get rid of Lacazette. I didn't care about Eddie. You know what I'm saying?
Was it Lacazette?
I wanted the babysitter gone. I see this guy every time I look on Twitter. He's scoring goal for Lyon. I'm sick of him. I block everything. I can 3 goals in a season, and every time I turn around, you're scoring for Lyon. So I'm telling you, man.
Wasn't Lacazette your guy, Mube?
I love him. You know I do. You know, that's the thing. That's what made me so mad, because I sit here for years and argue with people about how good he was, and then he gets the chance to do that. 3 goals, man. Come on, man. I'm so disappointed. I was but I have no problem with Eddie getting the 14, man. I think he's gonna have a good season. I really like what I'm seeing from him. You can tell he's taking the time up to work on his game. You can see it, and I think we got 2 strikers that complement each other. He can play with Jesus, or he can play alone. I have the bone to pick at you with Jesus too, but we're gonna get to that a little later.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, just a couple more comments, and then we'll get back onto our topics. Colin Young says central midfielder Partey gets a knock, and we're in some stuff. Yeah, another injury at the wrong time of the season, and we're going to be stuffed. But anyway. Colin goes on to say that good kind of God Mube, that kind of Shaka talk ought to be illegal. I love Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, okay.
Dearie me. Banji, good evening. Says good evening, Gunners, and good evening to you. And there says Xhaka is made of titanium, Don Larry. You're a week late, mates. All right. So let's get back on topics. The All or Nothing documentary. We're seeing 2 weeks of some interesting insights. But I want to hone in on the striker who was isolated from the squad, Mube. Do you think? Have you seen the All or Nothing, Mube?
Yeah, I saw it.
What are your thoughts? Just talking about the Aubameyang situation there. Do you think Arteta dealt with it the best way possible, or do you think, what is this guy doing? Your thoughts?
I you know me. You know I'm one of the biggest Aubameyang fan up here. And you know when all that stuff went down, I was so upset with him leaving. Fans were turning on him when he had a couple bad seasons. You know, I always come up here and stick up for him. But as the captain of the team, you cannot allow that to go on. You have, like he said, he has these young players that's looking up to him. If you look at the thing, you look at Rob Holding, poking fun. Aubameyang not here. You want me to do his signature? Like it's something that's going to spread through the team. As a manager, you can't come in and say you're going to set the rules. unfortunately, you got to start with the man at the top, and after the manager is him. And if he's not doing what he has to do, then it is what it is, man. I really don't blame Arteta for what he did. People saying that he jot down notes or whatever he did to, every time he disciplinary issues, but it shouldn't be that much disciplinary issues from the captain. He shouldn't even be in that position. He did that to himself. People can't blame, and the people will blame Arteta for everything. He's the manager. It's going to come with it, but can't really blame him for expecting his captain to, hold him to a certain standard, especially when you're the highest paid player at the club. You're the club captain. You just can't do certain stuff. And I think Arteta dealt with it well, if you ask me.
And for you, Ralph, the Aubameyang situation, do you think it was dealt with the best way possible, or do you think not so?
Yeah, no, I agree with Mube that I think it was the best situation, because you could tell from the documentary that maybe we didn't realize at the time, but it wasn't just one breach or like two breaches. It was like this whole series of things. There's one point when you overhear him talking, I think he's talking to the press guy, and they're saying, yeah, you had all of this, and it sounded like it was just an ongoing kind of cultural problem, right? That he wasn't turning up on time, or he wasn't following the rules set. I think it also showed us as well, though, that Arteta must have known that he was in a much stronger position than we thought he was, because I remember, like, at the beginning of last season, people were thinking maybe he's going to get the sack, maybe he's going to go, when we had the really bad start to the season. But you can tell, like, the board and Arsenal must be seeing him as such a long-term project to say, in this, we're going to stand by you, because it was a pain. I mean, for them to try and get the contract termination, they had like legal issues. They're talking to the lawyers. This was a big pain brought onto Arsenal by Arteta's decision, right? But they stood by him anyway. And yeah, I think it's the right way to go. If we are going to stick with Arteta for a long-term project to build the culture, then we're going to have to stick by it and let him set his non-negotiables that he likes to talk about. So I think it was the best decision in the end. And it kind of ended up, as you could see, it was like the best decision for both parties, because you could tell that by then Aubameyang, he wanted to go. He didn't want to be there anymore. And so I think it's worked out for the best.
Yeah, but I think he forced their hand, because it was he who traveled to Barcelona without any authorization from Arsenal. And I think he forced...
Exactly.
Yeah. So, well, and anyway, he's
not.
But
us as fans, on the outside, we heard that, his dad was sick and he went there to look for his dad, and Arteta didn't want him to go look for his dad. But then you turn around and then you at Disney World in Barcelona when you have your players are here training. See, stuff like that. That's why I don't really overreact to everything that we hear in the media, because you just don't know. We were saying that. Arteta was stopping him from going to see his sick dad when your dad probably was sick, but you didn't just go there for that. You was partying and having family time while the rest of your teammates were training. So you can't have that. You just can't have that.
Yeah, but Mube, I mean, he's got that that kind of playboy lifestyle before Arsenal. He's got that history of doing that. So why did Arsenal buy a player like that who comes with a load of baggage of problems? I
don't think he came with a lot of problems. I think you pay for what you get, really, because we pay for a striker that scored a lot of goals, that came here and gave us 4 proper seasons of being a proper striker. Buying Aubameyang, would I say it's a waste of money? Like it was. I think Lacazette was a waste of money. I think Pepe is a waste of money. I don't think Aubameyang is a waste of money, because even if we didn't get nothing from him and let him leave for free, those seasons that he gave us, the FA Cup, those goals, Golden Boot, he came in and he did what he had to do. He had that bad boy reputation with him, but Wenger signed him. I think he came here and it wasn't like he was always like this. I think he just got a little bit comfortable. And I think that, he probably get a manager that, Arteta is not really, that experience. He had Emery here that was here before Arteta, all the disrespect that he went through before he left. So I think it's something that was brewing before Arteta even came in. I think once Wenger left, that respect that the players kind of had for that man in charge, I think between the transition between Emery and Wenger, just went down the road. And Arteta had to come back and try and build that bridge back. I think that's why you hear him always talking about the non-negotiable, because he could see it. He was there as a player, as a captain with Wenger. He knows what it is, what he wants the captain to be like, what he was when he was there. You know, and he comes in and then it's nothing like that. So that's why he had to change a lot of stuff. And I think he's doing a good job at it.
Okay. Do you want to say anything else, Ralph, before we go on to the next topic about that? Or
if we're just about the documentary, I just find it's a really fascinating insight into, mostly into Arteta, I think, more than anything, right? Like his mindset. And he's a funny guy, right? Because he's the youngest manager in the Premier League, but he's old school. He's old school in terms of his way he wants to build that culture, like with the non-negotiables. He's a very intense guy, very demanding. And he's just, I mean, he's there, like, even when we saw the Xhaka red card, he's saying, oh, Xhaka got sent off because you weren't pressing enough for him, like kind of thing. And he was even defending that, but he was like, yeah, he's into the cynical fouls. he's very old school. I thought it was interesting. And also like the psychology and the team building is for people just to understand the detail and the organization of Arsenal. And Arsenal is just one of the 20 Premier League clubs that are the same. But like when they have the doctors meeting, that guy, he's got about 10 staff. The doctor has like 10 staff. And like everybody has their personal development session with the coaches. I mean, this is the high level that the Premier League is. And I watch it a lot following Paraguayan football, of course, and South American football. And this is another level. Like we were talking about Martinelli and Marquinhos. Those guys are getting a small taste of it in Brazil, which is the most advanced in South America. But this is like a whole new planet almost for them in terms of the level of detail. So I find it really interesting, the documentary, for that kind of angle.
Yeah. Again, spoiler alert. I did like when they highlighted Martinelli, and he said, you know what, I don't really care about the money. I just want to play football. I thought, yeah, you can see the guy's hungry, very, very hungry, very, very sharp, and I want him to do so well this season. Above
those South American guys, man. That's why I love them. I love them. That's why I'm big on Marquinhos. You know, it's just he's gonna be one of those guys, man. It's humble. You got to be. They're humble. Yeah. And I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but Mube, now Gabriel Jesus scored a bucket load of goals in the preseason. He comes up against Crystal Palace. They just gave him no space. They gave him no respect, and he got subbed off. But Gabriel Jesus, your thoughts, Mube?
But you see how much better he makes the team. And I always say that. We always say that about Lacazette too. He make the team so much better than when we play with AUBAMEYANG. You can see that he has it all. He set on that chance for Martinelli. Martinelli just didn't score. It was a wide open goal. He set up Odegaard, put him in 1-on-1 with the keeper. Another guy tried to pass it across the goal. So right away, I'm not, and I tell people all the time, I'm not expecting, everybody to be prime Thierry Henry or prime AUBAMEYANG when he was scoring 22 goals. I'm not expecting our strikers to be that. I just think you put with a chance. When you get the chance, I need you to score. He didn't get a chance. He didn't miss a chance, and I'm okay with that. He didn't get a chance, and he said, "Oh, he should have scored," but he didn't. That didn't happen. He just didn't get the space. But with him not getting the space, he occupied those center backs. He was pulling them all over the field. It was making so much space for Martinelli, so much space for Saka, so much space for Odegaard, and that's what you want to see. Eventually, I don't think it's going to be an issue with him scoring goals. I just need my striker. When you get a chance, I need you to take it, and I think he's going to be that one.
You, Ralph, Gabriel Jesus, is he the missing piece to the jigsaw? Is he the missing piece?
He could be. What he does. He's the perfect complement to what they're trying to build with that whole front line. Is that it's very fluid and people can move into different positions. So you'll have Odegaard like hovering around, but then he's going to have all these runners with Saka or with Martinelli or now with Jesus, because Jesus, what he does for Brazil, he almost plays on the right. He almost plays down the right-hand side, which is, remember, Edu used to be at Brazil at the national team. So he knows that too. And so he can fit into some of those roles and move around the front line. But I think that's exactly what Arteta is looking for. So we'll see if it's the missing piece to the jigsaw, but I think he complements you can see what we're trying to build, right? And the thing about Aubameyang and Lacazette, they weren't those kind of players because they weren't brought in by Arteta, like we were just saying. Especially Lacazette, like his movement is not up there with somebody like Jesus. It's just totally different. So fingers crossed he can be that missing piece.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back into the live chat before we go into the last segment. Prosper says Xhaka backs off from contact. That's exactly why Partey is overworked. They go watch Xhaka when an attack is building on his side. The left back always has two players to mark. He always leaves his post. I love Granit Xhaka. Anyhow, Colin says a Partey and not being in the squad will be our biggest miss. I agree. It's proven. I understand that there are some that don't like Partey, but a good portion of his missed time was Arteta's rushing him back. Is that true, Lube?
That is very true. That is. Remember, he came on in that Spurs game in North London Derby when he was injured. He came on and got injured again, and he was out for another. Remember that time? So that's what I'm saying. Just because but I don't blame Arteta. You need your best players to play your biggest games. We just don't have a competent squad. That's why I said we need somebody that's as good as him. And the only reason why I blame Arteta for that, you can see where he changed it last year when Partey went out. He was just trying to fit Lokonga in there. To play that lone six. It just didn't work. He's just not ready for that. I like Lokonga, but he's not just ready for that. I don't want to loan him out or anything. I do think he's a good squad player, but he's just not ready for that. I just think if we don't get another midfielder, then we're gonna have to. If he gets injured, we just need to change back to that, two sitting player that we always do. Put in a El Nene and a Xhaka to play, and put Odegaard in the 10th position. We just have to be flexible if we're not gonna get someone to replace him. But yeah, I just think he was overworked. He was rushed back in the squad a lot of times, like my guy just said, and I think we all got to take blame for that. We do want to see him play. He came from the Afghan and flew home that morning and was playing against Liverpool that night.
Yeah.
We just didn't have those kind of players in the squad. So hopefully we don't have to go for that this year.
Yeah. The Dad says part-time Partey won't play 20 games this season. All right, okay. The Geezer says tomorrow's game will suit the boys from Brazil. The boys from Brazil will be doing the samba all over the Emirates at 5 p.m. So I think what we'll do on that note, we'll go into the game tomorrow. We're back in the Premier League action again. The first home game of the season against the Foxes. Spoken about Yuri Tillemans, which I don't think we'll probably get him. Actually, Ralph, do you think we'll get him in this transfer window? Or
time's running out, so
yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, it's so hard to. The other thing is there's no transparency, right? You have no idea what's happening until the very last minute. But I mean, we'll have to hold on and see for that. But I'm not sure if we'll have time because especially when the season starts, then a lot of teams don't want to give up players or bring in players because they're trying to. Like if they were to sell Tielemans to us now, who would Leicester bring in instead? So teams are they're going to hold on to those players for longer.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
Would I be reading into it too much if he wasn't in the starting 11 tomorrow?
No, that would be interesting. I think, right? if he doesn't play, that means that.
If he's not in the 11, he's coming.
Yeah, that would be Leicester.
I personally think he's coming. I personally think we'll get him anyway. The only reason why I think we'll get him is because of his contract situation with Leicester. I don't think Leicester is not an Arsenal or a Manchester United who can just afford to just lose $30 million. It's not one of those kind of clubs. They don't have that kind of commercial revenue like we have, or Manchester United. Manchester United do it all the time. We do it all the time, but it doesn't even hurt our pockets because of the revenue that we have coming in. I don't think Leicester kind of have that kind of. I think he's going to leave. Maybe not to Arsenal. I hope he's coming to us, but I think regardless, he's going to leave Leicester.
Yeah, I agree actually. So, would you care to give me a prediction, Ralph, for tomorrow? If you want to, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, No, I'm fairly confident for tomorrow. If I say that, we'll lose now. But I'm fairly confident because we've always done well against Leicester at home. There's never really been an issue, and I think we started well. I mean, we had that really good preseason, but we did carry it on. We didn't. It's not like we played badly against Palace. We pulled out a good result, and so now I think there's no reason to feel that we shouldn't start off at home with a win as well. Maybe I'll go for a 2-0 again. 2-0 to the Arsenal.
Chairman.
I don't want to predict, man. I'm trying to get out of this prediction stuff, man, because I'm sorry at it.
You don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to. You don't.
Yeah, listen. Tomorrow is going to turn up. I hope the guys just turn up for the game. Hopefully Gabriel Jesus can get off the mark. But I think we continue our run. I think that we'll turn up and we'll get a good result tomorrow for sure.
Okay, cool. That's cool. So last time into the live chat, Collins says, honestly, I think there is a quality player in Pepe, but it just isn't going to happen at Arsenal, is the reality. And the fear is, like Ralph says, he'll probably leave us, go and play for another Premier League club, and he'll be banging in the goals left, right, and centre.
Yeah. Go to somewhere. Go to somewhere like Newcastle. The next thing you know, next thing you know, they're in the Champions League. You know.
Oh dear. Seeing more games. Richard just come into the chat. He says, "Even all, what even to you?" Silver James says, "Canon for is a vibe. It's a vibe. Thank you for that. The check will be in the post." Richard says, yeah, it needs a bit of self-belief in yourself, and it's just a shirt number. Yeah, 14 shirt, I couldn't care less what number Nketiah wears, man. Just go in the field and do the business. Here's a question for the panel. Question to the panel, do we have another legend in the making in this side, Mube?
Yeah, we do. Benny Blanco, Ben White, man. I know you guys don't like him, but listen, you're gonna respect Benny Blanco. I just like gassing up. I just like gassing up the players that the fan base always turn. For some reason, we get one player and everybody just turn on the next one. I hate this culture at this club, man. It's so toxic. Now, listen, I don't. You can't really pick a player out right now and say, yeah, definitely a legend in the making. Closest to it, you probably say Saka because he has that fanfare around him. We all love him. The local guys probably, but other than that, not really. It doesn't give him time. They're just 23 now. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on them anyway. They're also young. Give them time, a couple more seasons, maybe in 2 or 3 seasons we'll see somebody develop. But right now it's just a bunch of young players running around on the field having fun.
Yeah, Ralph, to you?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that idea that really now we're just laying the foundations. It's hard to tell who would develop on. Saka is the best example, I think, because of what he's already doing, not just for Arsenal but England as well. But we got to hold on. We got to hold on to try and find out who could really be that one to take us to the next level, because it's such a young squad all across the positions.
Yeah. John says, I think Auba was mismanaged, but Arteta had no choice in the end. And I think I will let Colin have this last comment here. I've just seen, where is it? Can't find it now. There you go. Colin says, Seaside White, Mube, you're crushing my heart with this Shaka and White love.
I know the fans don't like him, but listen, man, you gotta respect him. I'm just saying, he was very good for us last year. When he's not there, we miss him. He's not the best. He's a young player, just like the rest of the squad. We bought. I know the 50 million price tag is something that put a lot of fans off, but when you pay for these English players, you got to pay this English tax. Okay, I see people talk about Marcus Rashford going from Manchester United to PSG for 125 million. It's like, it's the English tax that you have to play with these players. And the thing is, he's only going to get better. With game time, he's going to get better. I don't like this. Saliba is here now. Ben White should not play. Listen, you're not going to get Ben White out of this team this easy. Because Arteta bought him. Arteta like him. Arteta love him. He's going to fit him in this team at some point. He's
Yeah.
going to play. And we have 3 quality center back. Let's just enjoy it. Let's not try and pin them against each other, man. I love them all. Even Rob Olin. Put in Rob Olin.
Behave yourself, man. Do you know what? We've come to an end on this Easy Talk, man. It's been good to have Ralph and Mube, share him on the board back. Too long, man. Too long. Mube running away from me, man. Been running away.
We here.
All right. So that is the end of another Easy Talk, man. Unfortunately, Don Larry had problems with his audio. Let's see if we can get him back on the next available Easy Talk. And yeah, predictions for tomorrow, man. I'm not going to predict this one either. I'm not going to do a prediction. I just want the players to play very, very well. No doubt they will do the first home game, and wait and see what happens. But Ralph, it was good to have you back on the channel, man. Really good. Really
yeah,
good.
It was good to be back. Anytime.
Good. And Jim on the board, man.
Yeah, this is home, man. You know, we always going to show up. You know, you leave home for a little bit, but you always come back when you get the food. Right? You know, this is where the food is at. You know where it's at.
Yeah. Nice one. Again, always good to have you back, brother. You know what I mean? Really, really good.
Yes, sir, for sure.
And I saw the live chat. There was quite a few comments that I just couldn't get to, and because the debate discussion was very, very interesting. But so that's it. Yeah, man. Yeah. Could Gabbo just be the missing piece of this massive mess? Sorry, not mess. Jigsaw puzzle. Sorry, not a mess.
You got it. That's exactly what you wanted to say. That's what you wanted to say. Hey, respect my manager. We're going in. Top 4 for sure this season. You can book it.
Anyway, guys, thank you again to my contributors. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to each and every one of the viewers here as well. I will be back tomorrow morning, giving some more live news on Arsenal. Yeah, I'll be talking about Arsenal. Yeah, not so much about Granit Xhaka, but that's a different story. Until then, it's over, and I'll see you tomorrow. And that's it. Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all